Not long ago, 72-year-old Sandra Miller reached the summit of the Grand Canyon's North Rim and stunned her entire family. At the top, she proudly declared, "My knees and hips feel stronger today than when I was 30. Now, most of us would smile, say God bless her, and move on. But as a former Harvard orthopedic surgeon and assistant team physician for the Boston Celtics, I took Sandra's words very seriously, and so should you. Because Sandra wasn't always a hiker. Just 1 year before her remarkable climb, her doctor warned she'd need painful knee replacement surgery. She struggled simply walking around her house, let alone tackling steep trails. Yet today, Sandra hikes mountains, enjoys daily walks with friends, and plays with her grandkids, all completely pain-free. So how did Sandra go from painful knees and stiff hips to effortlessly hiking mountains? It all comes down to an extraordinary ability your body naturally possesses, but that most people, and even most doctors, don't know about. Have you ever heard about the zebrafish? Scientists have been amazed for decades at how this incredible creature can fully regenerate damaged tissues, bones, joints, and even its spine within days. If you're wondering, why can't humans regenerate their own joints and cartilage the same way? Here is the groundbreaking news. Recent scientific breakthroughs prove that we actually can. In fact, a landmark 2019 Duke University study published in the prestigious journal Science Advances revealed humans share a regenerative ability remarkably similar to zebrafish and salamanders. This means your joints have a powerful, natural capacity to regenerate themselves automatically, even if you're in your 60s, 70s, or older, and even if you have advanced joint damage. But there's one crucial catch. Joint regeneration can't begin until you first stop the invisible termite-like culprits destroying your cartilage. Harvard and MIT studies confirm these joint termites silently chew away cartilage, triggering inflammation, intense pain, and the devastating bone-on-bone sensation you might feel in your knees, shoulders, hips, or spine. Most doctors overlook these microscopic joint killers, simply prescribing NSAIDs and painkillers, which not only fail to address the root cause, but actively speed up joint destruction, making your pain even worse. Fortunately, a recent scientific breakthrough provides a powerful, safe, and completely natural way to halt this cytokine storm and trigger your body's hidden regenerative powers, just like the zebrafish. Thousands of Americans, including Sandra, now swear by a simple 7-second morning ritual that neutralizes these destructive termites, allowing your cartilage to naturally regrow, joints to relubricate, and pain to vanish. No pills, no painful injections, no invasive surgeries. Imagine waking up each day with knees, hips, shoulders, and even your spine feeling younger, stronger, and completely pain-free, so you can once again enjoy walking, golfing, gardening, vacationing where you want, or playing with the kids pain-free. In just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to do this simple at-home ritual yourself, because you won't find this in health food stores or anywhere else online. My name is Dr. Kyle Stevenson. I'm a leading orthopedic surgeon with experience working with Harvard University athletics and a former team doctor for the Boston Celtics. This revolutionary discovery emerged directly from my experience treating elite NBA athletes and collaborating with leading Harvard researchers, giving me unique insights into joint pain solutions most doctors have never even heard of. Stay with me. What you're about to see will transform the way you think about joint pain forever. My journey to becoming a pain specialist began long before medical school. It started when I was just a kid. I grew up in a home that understood pain on a personal level. Not just the kind that hurts your body, but the kind that changes your life and the lives of the people who love you. For me, that lesson came from watching my dad. He lived every day in constant, debilitating pain, bouncing from doctor to doctor, trying every pill and therapy, but never finding real relief. You see, in high school, my dad was a wrestler, and at 15, he suffered a devastating injury to his ankle that was never properly treated. What started as one bad twist turned into a lifetime of suffering, chronic pain, limited mobility, and even visible deformity in his foot and ankle. It got so bad that he had to cut open the sides of his shoes just to ease the pressure and let his foot breathe. As a kid, seeing that left a mark on me. It was the moment I knew I wanted to understand pain, not just mask it, but truly fix it. As a kid, we would go on vacations, and while my mom, my brothers, and my sisters and I would enjoy walking and hiking together, my dad always missed out on the fun, sitting alone and waiting for us because of his pain and limited mobility. It was heartbreaking to see him suffering and not able to do all the fun, active things with me that other boys' dads could do. Helping my dad and others like him became one of my main motivations for becoming an orthopedic surgeon. However, during my medical training, working in sports medicine at Harvard University Athletics, it became disturbingly clear to me why none of the other doctors my dad saw were able to help him with his crippling pain. The hard truth is, most doctors don't have a clue about treating the root cause of pain. All they would do for my dad is either temporarily mask the symptoms with addictive painkillers and injections, or they would recommend extreme, radical, and permanently life-altering surgeries like joint fusion or even amputation. Unfortunately, it's not the doctor's fault. The typical orthopedic surgeon only gets 10 hours of education about pain management out of 12 years of schooling, and most of that education is simply about what drugs to prescribe. It wasn't until I was hired by the Boston Celtics as their assistant team physician that I got my real education about managing pain, particularly joint, knee, foot, back, hip, shoulder, elbow, and muscle pain. Because of the extreme wear and tear on their joints and bodies, professional athletes accumulate more damage in a few short years than most people experience in a lifetime. You see, when a superstar athlete gets injured or is in pain, the cost can be millions of dollars per missed game when they are sitting on the bench. As an NBA team doc, you are under immense pressure to address the root cause of pain and injury and provide a rapid yet permanent solution. So you're not just going to give them a few Advil to mask the symptoms and put them back on the court. Fortunately, during my time with the Boston Celtics, I had access to something most doctors only dream about: an unlimited budget and exposure to the most advanced technology, treatments, and research on the planet. And let me tell you, I learned more about pain, healing, and the human body in those few years than I did in my entire decade of medical training. That experience transformed the way I practice medicine. I became obsessed with pain management and recovery, not just dulling pain with drugs, but helping the body bounce back stronger than before. I studied cellular healing, inflammation control, and the natural mechanisms that allow tissue to regenerate. Those lessons completely changed the way I thought about pain and healing, and they led to a breakthrough discovery that helps reduce inflammation, clear out the joint termites quietly destroying your cartilage, and reactivate the same natural regeneration pathway used by self-healing species like zebrafish, so your body can finally begin repairing itself from the inside out. Now, as rewarding as working with million-dollar athletes was, both personally and financially, over time I felt like something was missing. I wanted to help real people, folks like my dad, my neighbors, and the patients in my hometown who'd been told surgery or lifelong medications were their only options. That's when I began using these same breakthrough techniques to help everyday patients finally get to the root cause of their arthritis pain, not just to mask it. By calming the inflammation at a cellular level and reactivating the body's natural regenerative response, I started seeing results that even surprised me. People who had suffered for decades began moving freely again, without drugs, injections, or surgery. Today, I'm grateful that I can help men and women of all ages and backgrounds in my community, from kids to seniors, find lasting relief and healing. Like Sandra, a 72-year-old grandmother who dreamed her whole life of hiking the Grand Canyon, but could never do it because of her worn-out, painful knees. Or Darren, a 37-year-old firefighter and strongman competitor who was suffering from a torn triceps tendon. There is nothing more rewarding to me than seeing Sandra's pictures on Facebook of her climbing the north rim of the Grand Canyon, or standing on the competition stage with Darren as he received his first-place trophy in his age division. I see it in my practice every day. Baby boomers who are refusing to slow down with age. They want to remain active and continue enjoying the sports and hobbies they did in their youth pain-free. However, traditional old-school medicine is failing them, particularly when it comes to joint or back pain. Most doctors think that knee pain, pain in the tiny joints in your fingers, or pain in the large vertebrae in your spine are caused by structural problems within the joint. Or worse, like a chiropractor, you just need to crack it into place. The problem is, chiropractors fail to understand pain on a cellular level. They focus more on body parts and movement, but never consider what causes these vital structures to degrade in the first place. Understanding pain on a fundamental level, from my own dad's pain to treating thousands of patients suffering from knee pain, shoulder or back pain, to muscle aches, was the key to finding a done-at-home solution that actually works without addictive drugs, side effects, or debilitating brain fog and memory loss. My mission is to help folks move around the house and spend time with loved ones without knee, shoulder, or back pain, and start to live a normal life again, so they can travel, go on long walks with their loved ones, or even be extremely active, enjoying running, bicycling, golfing, or fishing like I do, completely pain-free. So get comfortable and pay close attention, because if you've been dealing with chronic pain, chances are you've tried at least one of these 3 common solutions. The problem? Each one seems to help at first, but ends up making things worse in the long run. Mistake number 1, painkillers, NSAIDs, and CBD. When pain strikes, most people reach for a bottle. Pain pills, Advil, Aleve, or even CBD oils, all promising quick relief. But here's the truth no one tells you. Painkillers don't heal anything. They just mute the signal while the real problem, inflammation, keeps burning underneath. And when the drug wears off, the pain comes roaring back, often worse than before. That's what researchers call the boomerang effect. NSAIDs work the same way. They block pain messengers, but they also block your body's ability to repair itself. It's like silencing the smoke alarm while the fire still rages inside. Over time, they can damage your stomach, strain your liver and kidneys, and even speed up cartilage degeneration. And while CBD sounds safer, it's still mostly unregulated. Studies show up to 40% of products contain heavy metals like lead and arsenic. You never really know what you're putting into your body. So while these quick fixes might dull the pain for a while, they do nothing to stop the cytokine storm, the invisible inflammation silently destroying your joints. Mistake number 2, cortisone and steroid injections. Doctors often recommend cortisone or steroid shots for joint or back pain. And yes, they can bring temporary relief, but at a serious cost. Over time, repeated injections weaken your tendons and cartilage, causing even more degeneration. I've seen it firsthand. Patients end up with thinner bones, fragile joints, and sometimes ruptured tendons that never heal the same way again. Steroids also raise blood sugar, blood pressure, and weight, setting you up for even more inflammation down the road. So while these shots can dull pain for a few months, they can worsen the underlying damage and make future healing harder. In a moment, I'll show you a natural way to calm inflammation without destroying your joints in the process. The third mistake is surgery. As an orthopedic surgeon, I can tell you, surgery should always be the last resort. Procedures like knee or hip replacements can help in extreme cases. But here's the truth. Surgery doesn't fix the root cause of pain. It only removes what inflammation has already destroyed. Even worse, up to 40% of patients still experience pain afterwards, a condition known as failed surgery syndrome. Once nerves are cut and scar tissue forms, blood flow is restricted and natural healing becomes even more difficult. Imagine going through months of rehab and recovery, only to realize the pain is still there, or even worse than before. That's why I tell my patients, the key isn't replacing what's damaged, it's stopping the inflammation so that the body can naturally repair itself, the way nature intended. Now, to understand why your joints aren't using their God-given ability to heal themselves, we need to look closer at what's really happening inside. Every joint in your body, whether it's your knees, shoulders, fingers, hips, or spine, is protected by a slick, rubbery cushion called articular cartilage. Cartilage is like a natural Teflon coating that keeps your joints smooth, flexible, and pain-free. But here's the shocking truth. Your cartilage isn't simply wearing out with age. It's being actively degraded by these joint termites or cytokines. Cytokines are tiny immune proteins that eat away damaged tissue and help your body heal after an injury. When you're young and healthy, they rush in to destroy damaged cells, fight infection, and trigger repair. Once the healing is complete, they're supposed to shut off and move on, leaving you with minimal pain or inflammation. But brand new studies from Harvard Medical School and the National Institutes of Health have shown that with age, your body doesn't clear cytokines as efficiently as it once did, and they begin attacking healthy tissue, especially the cartilage that cushions your joints. This overreaction is what we call chronic inflammation. It can cause pain that lingers for weeks, months, or even years, sometimes flaring up in old injuries, and other times appearing in completely new places. A major 2017 study in Frontiers in Immunology confirmed that this constant, low-level cytokine activity is one of the main causes of cartilage loss in arthritis. These rogue cytokines behave just like termites and chew through the collagen in your cartilage, dry up the natural joint fluid, and inflame the surrounding tissue, causing stiffness, swelling, and that painful bone-on-bone grinding sensation. Over time, the cartilage in your spine and other joints will shrink, which is actually one reason people get shorter with age. Some can lose up to 3 inches in height as their spinal joints compress. And once that cushion wears away, the bones press against each other and put pressure on nearby nerves. That's when you might feel pain, tingling, numbness, or even burning or cold sensations that don't go away. This is why so many people find that their pain keeps returning, getting worse each time, until one day you find out that surgery is the only option left. Even worse, cytokines spread throughout the entire body, and if you're seeing it in your joints, there's a good chance it's happening in other parts of the body too, spreading through your bloodstream, silently attacking other organs. The problem is, when cytokines linger for months or years, it forces your cells to constantly repair and replace themselves. Every time a cell divides, there's a risk of a tiny error in your DNA, and those repeated errors can eventually turn into dangerous mutations. This is how cytokine-induced inflammation quietly sets the stage for serious disease. Over time, those damaged cells can begin to multiply out of control, the very process that can lead to cancer. As those cytokines travel, they inflame blood vessels and damage the lining of your arteries, leading to plaque buildup, high blood pressure, and heart disease. Over time, this constant internal fire can weaken your cardiovascular system and make it harder for oxygen-rich blood to reach your brain. And when cytokines reach the brain, they do even more harm. Studies show that these same inflammatory proteins can cross the blood-brain barrier, triggering memory loss, brain fog, and even the early stages of dementia. But here's the game changer. A groundbreaking study from Duke University, published in Science Advances, revealed that eliminating these painful inflammatory cytokines is not only critical to the health of many systems of the body, but it also activates a previously unknown regenerative pathway, the very same kind used by zebrafish and salamanders to regrow limbs. You see, zebrafish can regrow their fin in just a few days, and those fins are made mostly of cartilage. Here's how they do it. When a fin is injured, special cells near the wound revert back into stem cells, almost like hitting a biological reset button. That's what makes this discovery so incredible. It shows that the same type of tissue we once thought was gone forever in humans can in fact regenerate under the right conditions. And here's another clue hiding in plain sight. Humans already have tissues that continue to grow throughout life, our ears and our noses, both made mostly of cartilage. That's proof your body never truly loses the ability to rebuild this tissue. It just becomes dormant as inflammation takes over. The Duke study showed that the articular cartilage in your knees, shoulders, hips, and even your spine has the same regenerative potential, but only if the inflammatory environment is neutralized first. In other words, your body already has the tools to repair damaged joints. They're just being held hostage by the constant attack from the painful, throbbing cytokine storm, those microscopic joint termites eating away at your cartilage from the inside out. The moment you calm that storm, your God-given regenerative system can finally switch back on, just like in the zebrafish. At this point, I began to wonder, why do some people seem to keep that regenerative switch turned on for life, while others struggle with constant inflammatory attack? Why do certain populations stay mobile, active, and pain-free into their 80s and 90s without surgery, injections, or handfuls of pills? That question led me to the blue zones, regions where people live the longest, healthiest lives on the planet. Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, Icaria in Greece, and a few others. In these places, you'll see 80-year-olds gardening, climbing hills, even riding bicycles daily, without complaining about arthritis or bad knees. They don't rely on painkillers or replacements. Their bodies simply age differently. At first, I assumed it was genetics or climate, but the truth was far simpler and far more powerful. It came down to what they feed their bodies every day. Their traditional diets are rich in natural anti-inflammatories, plant sterols, and unsaponifiable oils, the same rare compounds found in avocados, soybeans, and frankincense resin that nourish joint tissue at the cellular level. These nutrients keep cytokines in check, preserve flexible cartilage, and constantly send renewal signals to cells that rebuild your joints. Whether it's Okinawans eating fermented soy, or Sardinians using olive and avocado oils daily, their foods naturally calm inflammation and protect cartilage. I realize their secret isn't genetics or geographical luck, it's biochemistry. Their bodies never fall into the chronic inflammatory cycle that painfully erodes cartilage in most Western adults. They keep their inflammation switch turned off. That's when it hit me. If these same compounds protect and renew joints in blue zone cultures, we could deliver them in a concentrated, clinically tested form to help anyone tap into that same natural pain relief pathway, bringing the healing power of Okinawa to my patients here in the United States. The first compound I identified is called avocado soybean unsaponifiables, or ASU. If you've never heard of it, that's no accident. Despite being one of the most studied natural extracts for joint health, with decades of published research, ASU has been quietly ignored and suppressed in the US. Meanwhile, in Europe, doctors have been using it to treat arthritis and joint pain for years. ASU is a rare extract isolated from the oils of avocados and soybeans. Not the fruit or the bean, but the unsaponifiable component, the tiny part that resists breaking down. Hidden inside this compound is a cocktail of plant sterols and molecules with remarkable joint regenerative and anti-inflammatory power. ASU helps neutralize the microscopic cytokines, essentially clearing out the joint termites so your body's regenerative ability can kick in. Now here's where it gets exciting. Remember the zebrafish, the tiny striped creature that can regenerate its fins in days? For years, scientists thought humans had lost that ability. But the Duke University study revealed we still carry a very similar regenerative program. It's just dormant, waiting to be switched back on. And that's exactly what ASU does. Blue zones, like Okinawa and Sardinia, eat avocados and soybeans for vitality and longevity. Modern science has shown that when combined, this molecule sends powerful signals to your chondrocytes, the very same cartilage-building cells you thought were long past their prime. In fact, a 2018 study published in the Journal of Pharmaceutical Research found that ASU enhanced the ability of human stem cells to mature into new cartilage-producing cells, essentially priming the body's own repair machinery for regeneration. This discovery linked ASU's cytokine blocking and anti-inflammatory effects directly to cartilage renewal, connecting inflammation control with tissue repair for the first time. ASU essentially flips on the regenerative stem cell switch, instructing your joints to produce more collagen and proteoglycans, the raw materials of cartilage itself. That's why in a 3-year randomized placebo-controlled clinical trial on hip osteoarthritis, one of the toughest conditions to treat, patients taking ASU were far less likely to lose cartilage. And more cartilage means your knees, hips, fingers, and every other joint in your body remain cushioned, smooth, and mobile. By stimulating cartilage-producing stem cells and clearing out the cytokine storm that blocks healing, ASU helps your body rebuild the smooth, shock-absorbing tissue your joints desperately need. The next step to easing joint pain is simple. You have to turn off the relentless inflammation, the hidden enemy behind sore knees, stiff backs, swollen fingers, and even brain fog. That's why the next molecule I chose is Boswellia serrata. You might recognize it by its ancient name, frankincense. Yes, the same sacred resin mentioned 22 times in the Bible, treasured by kings and carried across deserts by caravans over 2,000 years ago. Back then, it was worth more than gold. Healers across the Middle East and India burned it, brewed it, and prescribed it to calm inflammation, purify the body, and relieve pain. Recently, Boswellia has exploded into the pages of medical journals. It's being studied not only for joint pain and rejuvenating saggy skin, but also for long COVID inflammation and even the devastating brain fog and memory problems that follow infection. Researchers have discovered that compounds inside Boswellia, called boswellic acids, act like cleanup crew for dysfunctional proteins in the body, neutralizing and clearing out these nasty cytokines before they do more damage. Within days, that relentless burning inside your joints begins to quiet down. The swelling fades, the stiffness eases, and the sharp pain that once made every step unbearable melts into a calm, soothing ease. Early research suggests boswellic acids may also help protect DNA from oxidative stress, supporting your body's natural cleanup of abnormal zombie cells, making it a quiet ally against the worst parts of aging itself. Next up is quercetin, nature's powerhouse for restoring joint strength and flexibility. Found in apples, onions, and berries, quercetin has been called the guardian molecule for aging joints. It works deep in your cells to calm lingering inflammation, clear out the toxic byproducts left behind by cytokines, and protect your cartilage from further breakdown. In a groundbreaking 2022 Journal of Molecular Medicine study, researchers discovered that quercetin helps stabilize cartilage cells, preventing them from thinning and hardening with age. Even more remarkable, it promoted the production of fresh collagen and other building blocks that keep your joints strong and resilient. Think of quercetin as a repair signal. It tells your body it's time to restore what's been lost. As inflammation fades, circulation improves, oxygen flows freely, and your joints finally have the nutrients they need to recover. The result? Less stiffness, smoother movement, easier mornings, and a body that feels lighter and more capable day after day. Quercetin doesn't just relieve pain, it helps your joints stay protected and resilient so you can move with confidence, freedom, and strength once again. This is why, once quercetin was added to the formula, the results I saw in patients accelerated. People who could barely make it across a room were now walking miles, gardening again, even sleeping through the night without pain. Still, I knew we could take it one step further. Back when I worked with the Boston Celtics, I learned something that completely changed how I thought about pain and recovery. The secret wasn't just about bones and cartilage, it was also about lubrication. The athletes who healed the fastest had one thing in common: their joints stayed well lubricated and protected. That cushion inside the joint allowed them to move smoother, recover faster, and stay pain-free even under extreme stress. Unfortunately, as we age, that natural joint lubrication, the silky fluid that keeps everything moving smoothly, starts to dry up. The result is friction, stiffness, and that grinding bone-on-bone sensation so many people know too well. That's when I realized the missing piece: hyaluronic acid, a molecule your body naturally produces to keep your joints hydrated, cushioned, and supple. So I thought, what if we added it to the formula? That's when SynoCell went from being a breakthrough to becoming a true game changer in natural joint restoration. Inside every healthy joint is a silky gel-like substance called synovial fluid, your body's own shock absorber. It's a thick, viscous fluid that bathes your joints with lubrication, keeping every movement smooth and effortless. When you're young, your joints have plenty of this rich fluid. That's why kids can run, jump, and twist without pain. But as inflammation builds up and time goes by, that fluid thins out. Suddenly, every step feels stiff, every bend grinds, and even getting out of a chair can send a jolt of pain through your knees or back. That's where hyaluronic acid comes in. It's the key nutrient that gives synovial fluid its luxurious, cushiony texture. the liquid shield that lets your cartilage glide smoothly instead of grinding bone on bone. You may have heard of it in the beauty world, the miracle molecule that plumps skin and erases wrinkles. But inside your joints, it does something even more important. It restores the thick, youthful lubrication you need to move freely again. Clinical studies show that supplementing with hyaluronic acid can relieve stiffness and knee pain, often with results that last even longer than steroid injections, but without any of the risks or side effects. I knew that this complete formulation would finally deliver what so many others could not: fighting pain, reducing inflammation, and replenishing the synovial fluid that keeps your joints and spine feeling young, strong, and free again. For years, scientists have tried to create a joint formula that could handle the inflammation and restore joint lubrication at the same time. Anti-inflammatory blends could calm pain, but often left joints dry. Joint restoring formulas looked good on paper, but didn't absorb properly. And when companies tried to combine everything, the ingredients clashed, lost potency, or were diluted with cheap fillers. That's when I realized the truth. It wasn't that the science didn't exist. It's that bringing these delicate nutrients together in one stable formula was incredibly difficult. ASU, for example, requires precise manufacturing to preserve their regenerative sterols. Boswellia would degrade if handled the wrong way, and hyaluronic acid, the key to joint lubrication, could lose its potency before ever reaching the body. We spent months testing, fine-tuning, and perfecting ratios to make sure each compound stayed active where it mattered most, inside your joints. At times, it seemed impossible, but every time I saw patients still suffering, people like Sandra, who had fought for years just to walk pain-free again, I refused to give up. Finally, after nearly 2 years of research and refinement, I partnered with a US laboratory that developed a triple-phase microencapsulation process, a breakthrough that keeps every ingredient stable and active until it reaches your bloodstream. For the first time, ASU, Boswellia, Quercetin, MSM, and hyaluronic acid could work in perfect harmony, each amplifying the others instead of competing. It was the discovery I'd been chasing for over a decade. A complete system designed not just to relieve pain, but to reignite your body's natural regenerative rhythm and restore the freedom of movement you thought was lost forever. Introducing SynoCell, the pain relief breakthrough your joints have been waiting for. The first pain-relieving formula designed to promote healing and lubrication from the inside out. Most pain products simply numb the pain or mask inflammation for a few hours. SynoCell works differently. It targets the root cause of joint damage, the microscopic inflammatory cytokines that silently erode your cartilage, and reverses it from the inside out. Here's how it works. Step 1. It extinguishes painful inflammation at the source. SynoCell's unique blend of Boswellia and ASU extinguishes the overactive cytokines attacking your joints, the joint termites that chew through cartilage, giving you rapid, soothing pain relief while protecting your tissues from further damage. Step 2. It reactivates your body's natural repair system. Once inflammation is neutralized, SynoCell helps your body switch back into healing mode. Blood flow increases, oxygen delivery improves, and your cells receive a powerful infusion of nutrients that stimulate collagen and cartilage production, rebuilding the smooth, flexible cushion your joints once had. Step 3. It restores youthful lubrication. Hyaluronic acid replenishes the thick, silky synovial fluid that keeps every joint gliding easily. Friction fades, stiffness disappears, and movement becomes smooth and effortless again. Once this happens, something remarkable occurs. Your knees, hips, back, and even your hands begin to feel renewed from within. You move more freely, stand taller, and rediscover the light, effortless motion you thought was gone forever. And as pain fades and inflammation quiets, your whole body responds. You sleep deeper, wake up refreshed, and feel clearer, calmer, and more energized every day. Because SynoCell isn't just about pain relief. It's about turning back the clock on your joints and giving you the freedom to move, live, and feel young again. Now, I know you might be thinking, this all sounds incredible, Dr. Stevenson, but will it really work for me? Well, don't just take my word for it. Listen to the stories of real people, folks just like you, who were once trapped by joint pain, stiffness, and inflammation, and who have completely transformed their lives with SynoCell.
I'm a mechanic, so I'm on my feet all day, and years of work have wrecked my joints. My hands and my shoulders and my knees hurt so bad that I could barely sleep, and painkillers and shots only made things worse. SynoCell changed everything. Within days, my stiffness started melting away, and by week 3, I could kneel and lift and work without pain. I even started jogging again at 62 years old. I feel like I've rewound the clock 20 years.
I used to wake up every morning with my back locked up tight. I couldn't garden, I couldn't golf. Even going to the grocery store was exhausting. My doctor said it was just old age. After starting SynoCell, my mornings were completely different. The stiffness is gone. My posture is better, and I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm moving freely again, walking 2 miles a day without any pain. I tell everyone, don't wait. SynoCell really works.
I used to love cycling, but as I got older, joint pain became a real problem. I tried everything, glucosamine, turmeric, physical therapy, but the pain in my hips and knees never let up. I couldn't even sit through a movie without shifting in agony. Then a friend told me about SynoCell. I figured I had nothing to lose. Within a month, I was back on my bike for the first time in years. No clicking, no stiffness, no pain. My wife says she hasn't seen me this happy in decades. SynoCell gave me my life back.
Every day, I receive hundreds of heartfelt messages from people whose lives have been completely transformed by SynoCell. They inspire me to keep sharing this breakthrough formula with as many people as possible. Because no one should have to live with pain, stiffness, or the fear of losing their mobility ever again. SynoCell isn't just better than painkillers, cortisone shots, or joint replacement surgery. It's in a league of its own. Why? Because unlike those temporary fixes that merely dull the pain, damage your organs, or cut away what your body could have healed, SynoCell works from the inside out, triggering your body's own regenerative powers to repair cartilage, calm inflammation, and restore your joints to their youthful, flexible state. By halting the destructive, painful cytokine swarm, reactivating cartilage-building cells, and replenishing the synovial fluid that keeps your joints smooth and cushioned, SynoCell doesn't just relieve pain, it helps your body reverse it at the cellular level. But let's talk about what really matters, your life. Imagine waking up in the morning and standing up with ease. No pain, no stiffness, no grinding, no hesitation. You stretch your legs and feel strong, balanced, and pain-free. You walk across the room with that effortless, springy confidence you thought you'd lost forever. Picture yourself heading out to play a full round of golf, finishing all 18 holes without soreness or swelling. Or maybe you're hiking your favorite trail, exploring nature with your spouse, your kids, or your grandkids. Every step steady, every breath full of energy and joy. Start traveling again, wandering through New York, strolling cobblestone streets in Paris, or exploring the Grand Canyon, not worrying about aching knees or sore hips slowing you down. You move freely, confidently, and with a lightness you haven't felt in years. And imagine the look on your friends' faces when they see you jogging again, riding your bike, dancing at weddings, or jumping into family photos instead of sitting on the sidelines. They'll be amazed at how effortlessly you've reclaimed your strength, your posture, and your youthful energy. That's just the beginning. When your inflammation fades and your joints are nourished again, your whole body feels younger. You sleep deeply, wake up refreshed, and feel more focused and alive throughout the day. Your confidence surges. You stand taller, move easier, and carry yourself with a quiet power everyone notices. This isn't wishful thinking. It's the life that begins when you give your body what it needs to heal itself. A life free from aching joints, full of vitality, freedom, and motion. Because that's what SynoCell delivers. A second chance at youth, mobility, and the confidence to live life on your own terms again. All this can be yours when you claim your supply of SynoCell today. By now, you can probably tell how deeply I care about the work I do. As one of America's leading orthopedic specialists and someone who's dedicated his entire career to helping people move freely again, my reputation means everything, and I would never attach my name to a product unless I was 100% confident in its safety, its science, and its power to change lives. The truth is, quality like this doesn't come cheap. SynoCell isn't a generic joint supplement you can find in a discount bin or on a drugstore shelf. It's a precision, engineered formula made from rare, clinically validated ingredients, stabilized through an advanced triple-phase microencapsulation process to preserve their full potency and deliver maximum results. When you compare SynoCell to the dozens of outdated glucosamine blends or turmeric capsules that promise the world but deliver nothing, you'll quickly realize it's in a league of its own. And when you consider the lack of true science-backed natural options that actually restore mobility at the cellular level, SynoCell starts to look like the bargain it really is. But let's talk about what that means for you personally. How much would it be worth to wake up every morning without aching joints? To stand up from a chair and walk across the room with total ease? To bend, stretch, and move through your day feeling light, strong, and completely pain-free? How much would you pay to play a full round of golf or hike your favorite trail without stiffness holding you back? To sleep through the night without tossing or turning from sore knees or hips? To lift your grandkids, garden, dance, or simply take long walks again without fear, without pain, without limits? What's it worth to look in the mirror and see a stronger, younger, more confident version of yourself staring back, knowing you reclaimed the vitality and freedom you thought age had taken away? Think about how incredible that will feel, because that's exactly what SynoCell was designed to deliver. What would you be willing to invest for this kind of life-changing relief? $200? $300? $500? Think about it. How much has joint pain really cost you over the years? The missed adventures, the family activities you sat out, the sleepless nights, the frustration of feeling older than you are, and the thousands spent on pills, shots, therapies, and doctor visits that never solve the problem. Because aside from the financial cost, there's also a very real human cost. You see, chronic inflammation doesn't just attack your joints, it quietly damages every system in your body. Research shows that unchecked inflammation is directly linked to arthritis, back pain, neck stiffness, and joint degeneration, but it doesn't stop there. It's also been connected to heart disease, dementia, diabetes, chronic fatigue, nerve pain, autoimmune disorders, osteoporosis, and even accelerated aging of the skin and brain. Inflammation erodes not only your cartilage, it erodes your vitality, it slows your metabolism, weakens your immune system, drains your energy, and makes you feel older than your years. You can't put a price on your health, or on the freedom to move, live, and enjoy life without pain or limitation. Many of my colleagues have told me that a formula like SynoCell, with its clinical grade ingredients, advanced microencapsulation, and proven ability to reactivate the body's natural regenerative power, would be an incredible value even at $500 per bottle. However, because my main goal with this product was to help all of the people who couldn't afford to come see me at my private practice, we cut out all middlemen and made it available only through this website. So you don't have to invest $500, $200, or even $100. Because right now, you can get your own 30-day supply of SynoCell for just $69. That's more than 40% off our regular retail price. Because you've made it this far into the presentation, it means you're serious about your health, and you are interested in seeing how this one-of-a-kind solution can help you the same way it's helping thousands of others. Which is why I want to give you the chance to try SynoCell at the lowest possible price, available exclusively through this page right now. Today, and only while supplies last, you can get your 30-day supply of SynoCell for just $59. That's another $10 off, and all I ask in return is that you consider sending us a success story once you experience the same life-changing transformation that many of our customers are now experiencing. Remember, this is the only place you'll find SynoCell at such a low price. This deal is not available on Amazon or any other third-party retailer. So don't wait. Secure your supply of SynoCell today and take your first confident step toward freedom from pain and the vibrant, active life you deserve. That's right, just $59. However, you might want to consider taking advantage of our 3 or 6 month package options. And here's why. It's important to take SynoCell long enough for your body to fully neutralize the inflammation so that deep healing can take place. Otherwise, the cytokines that caused your pain in the first place can return, along with stiffness and soreness. While many users report noticeable relief right away, the real transformation happens when you take SynoCell consistently for 90 days or more. That's because SynoCell's ingredients work cumulatively, building up in your system to allow your body to repair, restore, and re-lubricate your joints. The longer you take it, the stronger, smoother, and more flexible you feel. Think of it like compound interest. Each day you take SynoCell, you're depositing a little more healing into your body. At first, the results appear slowly. Less stiffness here, less pain there, but then faster and faster until you suddenly realize you're moving freely again, walking longer distances, and waking up without that dull morning ache. Every capsule helps rebuild your confidence, allowing you to experience total freedom of movement day after day. And there's another big benefit. By shipping SynoCell to you in bulk instead of one bottle at a time, we can dramatically cut costs and pass those savings directly onto you. So not only do you pay less for each bottle of SynoCell, you also ensure you never run out and interrupt your progress. Our most popular option is the 3-bottle package, which saves you an extra $30, bringing your cost down to just $49 per bottle, and it even comes with free shipping. Now, maybe you've been struggling with joint pain for years. Maybe you're caring for a spouse or parent who also suffers from stiffness and limited mobility. Or maybe you're simply the kind of person who knows a smart deal when you see one. That's why more and more of our customers are choosing the 6-bottle package, our best value option, which saves you an additional $120, bringing your cost down to just $39 per bottle. That's just $1.30 a day to restore flexibility and feel years younger. And remember, this offer is not available anywhere else. You won't find SynoCell on Amazon, in health stores, or through any third-party retailers. Each batch is carefully crafted in small runs to preserve potency, and our custom-designed bottles keep SynoCell fresh for up to 2 years in your cabinet, so you can confidently stock up for maximum savings and maximum results. But please note, this special $59 price is not guaranteed beyond today. Our production costs are rising, and we may have to adjust pricing soon. The last thing I want is for you to come back later and find a higher price, or discover we've sold out entirely. That's why our best customers order 6 bottles at a time, ensuring they have a steady supply to keep their joints healing, their inflammation under control, and their bodies moving freely for years to come. So don't wait. Secure your multi-bottle supply of SynoCell now. Lock in the lowest possible price and give your body the time it needs to fully regenerate and thrive. You're still here with me, still paying attention, which means your order has been set aside for you. But please understand, if you leave this page, your reserved bottles may be released to the next person in line. Don't spend another day trapped in pain, limping, wincing, or holding back from the life you love, when the solution is literally one click away. Your body was designed to move freely, to heal naturally, and to thrive. And right now, you have the chance to make that happen. Claim your discount and choose your package below right now. Now, even though SynoCell has already earned thousands of 5-star reviews from men and women who have regained their mobility and freedom, if you're still skeptical, I completely understand. After all, the pharmaceutical industry has spent decades hiding natural breakthroughs while pushing addictive painkillers and dangerous injections that never address the root cause. Remember, those corporations can't profit from something that comes from God's green earth, and they'll never admit that a 100% natural, clinically validated formula like SynoCell can ease pain and restore joint mobility without side effects. Because if they did, you'd never touch their risky drugs or expensive surgeries again. So don't wait another moment. Your path to pain-free movement and lasting relief is right here, right now. Click below to secure your SynoCell package before your reserved supply is gone. To prove to you that this research-backed formula truly works, and to make this 100% no-brainer decision, I'm personally guaranteeing your order today for a full 90 days. It's a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee based entirely on your satisfaction and experience. That means you don't even need to decide right now. Just say maybe. You'll have a full 90 days to try SynoCell for yourself, completely risk-free. Watch as the morning stiffness begins to fade. Feel the difference as your knees, hips, and shoulders move more smoothly with each passing day. Notice how the grinding eases, the swelling disappears, and your body feels younger, stronger, and more flexible. Sleep more deeply, wake up refreshed, and enjoy the renewed confidence of pain-free movement. Then decide you want to keep it. The truth is, 90 days is incredibly generous because most people feel real relief within the first week. But as a surgeon and pain specialist, putting my name and credibility behind this formula, it's important that you feel complete confidence when you say yes to giving SynoCell a try. And remember, this guarantee applies even if you finish every capsule. If you don't experience noticeable relief, if your joints don't feel stronger and smoother, or if you're simply not thrilled with your results, you'll get every penny back, no questions asked. I work with one of the friendliest, most professional customer care teams in the industry. They're easy to reach and ready to help with any questions or concerns you might have. So I urge you, stock up today to lock in your savings and experience this transformation for yourself. All you need to do is choose your money-saving package below and take back control of your mobility, your comfort, and your life. There's absolutely no risk to you. The only risk is waiting too long and missing your chance to finally experience this life-changing formula while supplies last. Go ahead, select your discounted package of SynoCell below and begin your transformation 100% risk-free right now. So just go ahead and click the button below. If SynoCell is still in stock, you'll be taken directly to the secure order page where you can enter your information. If it's not, you'll have the option to join our waiting list, and we'll notify you the moment a new batch becomes available. Remember, you'll save the most money and get the best long-term results when you choose the 3 or 6 bottle multi-pack options. That way, you'll always have plenty of SynoCell on hand to keep your joints supported and inflammation under control for months to come without risking a lapse in your progress. Our order form is fully protected using the latest 256-bit SSL encryption technology for complete privacy and security, the same advanced protection trusted by major e-commerce companies like Amazon.com. Simply enter your details on the next page and we'll rush a fresh supply of SynoCell straight to your doorstep, safely and discreetly packaged for your convenience. Your journey to pain-free movement and youthful mobility starts the moment you click below. So go ahead and secure your order right now while supplies last. Right now, you've come to a very real crossroads in life, where you must make a choice between 2 very different outcomes. As a long-practicing orthopedic surgeon, I've seen this moment play out countless times, and it's not something to take lightly. The first choice is, unfortunately, to do nothing, to keep putting it off, to ignore the root cause of the problem that's been stealing your comfort, your confidence, and your freedom to move. They say the devil's in the details, but when you do nothing, the devil comes straight to your door. You already know what I'm talking about. The tightness continues, the aches deepen. You wake up each morning stiffer than the morning before. Your knees grind, your hips burn, your back locks up. Simple movements, climbing stairs, bending over, even standing for too long, become battles you have to plan around. You stop doing the things you love, not because you want to, but because your body simply won't let you anymore. You begin saying no to things that once brought you joy. You lose strength, flexibility, and independence, one painful day at a time. And remember, joint pain is just the tip of the iceberg. That stiffness in your knees or the dull ache in your shoulders isn't the real problem. It's just your body's early warning signal. Because when inflammation takes hold in your joints, it doesn't stay there. It begins to spread, quietly and relentlessly, through your entire body. The same chronic inflammation that's eroding your cartilage also scars your blood vessels, weakens your heart, and fogs your memory. It seeps into your brain, triggering fatigue, forgetfulness, and mood swings. It disrupts your immune system, leaving you vulnerable to illness and slower recovery. It even reaches your skin, bones, muscles, and connective tissue, accelerating aging from the inside out. So if you tell yourself, oh, it's just my joints, I can live with it, think again. Your knees might endure it for a while, but your heart, brain, and immune system cannot. Unchecked inflammation is like rust spreading through metal. Slow, silent, and devastating, and every day you wait, that rust digs deeper into the framework of your body. That's why this decision isn't just about relieving joint pain, it's about protecting your entire body from the inside out. The good news? You have another choice, the path of healing and renewal. That choice begins the moment you start using SynoCell. This is the road where you wake up every morning with ease and strength, where your joints feel loose, fluid, and pain-free, where your knees bend, your hips rotate, and your back feels supple and strong again. You walk farther, stand taller, move with confidence, and you do it all without hesitation. Golf, hiking, gardening, chasing after your grandkids, or simply walking down the stairs. Everything becomes possible again. You sleep deeply, wake up refreshed, and feel a spark of youthful energy you thought was gone forever. And the people around you notice it. They'll see you moving with confidence, smiling more, and living fully again. And they'll ask, what's your secret? That's the life that awaits you. The life your body was designed to live. But it all begins with the choice you make right now. I know this is the reality you've been longing for, and you may never forgive yourself if you let this opportunity slip through your fingertips. Just go ahead and choose your money-saving package below and take advantage of today's 100% risk-free opportunity to finally live free from joint pain and stiffness and reclaim the strength, mobility, and confidence you truly deserve. I guarantee you'll be satisfied. If not, you don't pay a single penny. As a doctor with more than 10 years of experience helping people overcome pain and regain their lives, it wouldn't feel right keeping your money unless you experience every single benefit SynoCell was designed to deliver. Stronger joints, smoother motion, deeper sleep, and a body that feels years younger. This isn't just company policy, it's my personal promise to you. If you're not thrilled with your results, you get every dollar back. It's that simple. So go ahead and claim your supply of SynoCell below, and we'll rush your order straight to your doorstep. Still watching? Now I know that people who watch this far usually have a few questions. So let me answer a few of the most popular ones while you're sitting there making your decision. This first question comes from Linda in Scottsdale, Arizona, who writes, I have really bad knees and hips. Will it work for me? My doctor told me that cartilage in my joints is worn out and that I may need expensive and painful surgery. That's a great question, and honestly, it's one I hear almost every day. If you've been told your cartilage is worn out, the truth is, it's not gone forever. It's just been under attack for years. You see, the real reason your joints break down isn't just age or wear and tear. It's something happening deep inside your body, a swarm of microscopic inflammatory proteins called cytokines quietly chewing away at your cartilage, almost like termites eating through wood. And here's the shocking part. The very painkillers and NSAIDs most people rely on for relief can actually make the damage worse. Studies show that long-term use of these drugs increases oxidative stress and dries out the joint lining, accelerating cartilage loss and degeneration. It's like turning off a smoke alarm while the fire keeps burning underneath. SynoCell was designed to finally stop that process at the root. It neutralizes the cytokine storm before it can do more harm, allowing your body's natural regenerative system to switch back on. Once the inflammation is calmed, your joints can begin a process of self-restoration. Ingredients like ASU, Boswellia, and hyaluronic acid help nourish and relubricate cartilage, improve cushioning, and bring strength and flexibility back into your joints. This next question comes from Robert in Dayton, Ohio, who writes, my shoulder was injured in a sports accident when I was in high school, almost 40 years ago, and it's bothered me ever since. Can SynoCell really do anything to heal an injury that old? Even injuries from decades ago can still heal when you remove the invisible barrier that's been blocking recovery all this time: chronic inflammation. You see, when you first hurt your shoulder, your body immediately went to work repairing it. But over time, that repair process likely stalled, not because your body forgot how to heal, but because the low-grade inflammation around the joint never fully shut off. Those inflammatory signals create a kind of scar tissue lock, keeping the area tight, stiff, and painful for years. It's why so many people feel like their old injuries never truly go away. The body has been stuck in defense mode instead of healing mode. What SynoCell does is calm that underlying inflammation so your cells can finally get back to doing what they were designed to do: regenerate, rebuild, and restore healthy movement. Once that happens, blood flow improves, oxygen returns to the tissues, and your shoulder can begin to recover naturally, even after decades of strain. So yes, even if your injury happened 40 years ago, it is not too late. When inflammation is neutralized and your body's healing switch is flipped back on, remarkable things can happen at any age. The best way to find out for sure is to simply go ahead and try SynoCell. With our 100% pain-free pledge guarantee, you've really got nothing to lose. This next question comes from Denise in Jacksonville, Florida, who asks, I've struggled with chronic back pain and a herniated disc for years. Even my chiropractor hasn't been able to fix it. How can SynoCell help with that? That's a really important question, Denise, and one I hear from people all the time who've tried everything from adjustments to pain shots without lasting relief. The truth is, most back pain isn't just a structural problem. It's an inflammatory one. Even if a disc slipped years ago, what keeps the pain alive isn't the disc itself. It's the constant stream of inflammatory signals surrounding it. These microscopic irritants keep the nerves swollen, the muscles tight, and the tissues locked in spasm. That's why so many people get temporary relief from chiropractors or painkillers, only for the pain to return a few days later. The inflammation underneath never truly goes away. SynoCell helps by calming that hidden inflammation. Once the inflammatory environment is neutralized, your body can start repairing itself, rehydrating the discs, easing pressure on the nerves, and softening the stiff, inflamed tissue that's been trapping you in pain. When the inflammation fades, the nerves relax, movement becomes easier, and healing can finally begin. That's why so many people who've struggled for years suddenly feel their back unlock and loosen within weeks of starting SynoCell. So even if nothing else has worked before, don't give up. When you address the true cellular cause of back pain, your body can do what it's always known how to do: heal. This next question comes from James in Spokane, Washington, who writes, I have nerve pain that shoots down the back of my leg. It's been going on for years. Will SynoCell help with that? That's an excellent question, James. And I can tell you right away, what you're describing sounds like classic nerve inflammation, often called sciatica. Most people think this type of pain is just a pinched nerve or a disc problem. But what's really going on underneath is inflammation keeping the nerve irritated and hypersensitive. When those inflammatory proteins surround the nerve, they cause it to swell, and that swelling triggers the sharp, radiating pain that runs down the back of the leg. It's like the nerve is stuck in a constant alarm state, unable to calm down long enough to heal. What SynoCell does is quiet that inflammation at the source. Once the irritants are gone, the nerves relax and begin healing again. That's why so many people notice that the burning, stabbing pain in their legs starts to fade, then disappears entirely after a few weeks of use. This next question comes from Margaret in Sarasota, Florida, who writes, I'm over 65 and have been having extreme pain, stiffness, and loss of mobility in my fingers. It seems to be getting worse with age. Will SynoCell only help with the pain, or can it actually restore the function and strength in my hands and fingers? That's a wonderful question, Margaret, and I completely understand how frustrating that can be. When pain and stiffness steal the strength from your hands, even simple things like buttoning a shirt or opening a jar can feel impossible. Remember, what's happening inside your fingers isn't just aging. It's the result of a long, slow attack on the cartilage and connective tissue that allow your joints to move smoothly. Over time, tiny inflammatory proteins, the same ones we call cytokines, act like microscopic termites, quietly gnawing away at the delicate structures in your joints. You can't see them, but you can feel their damage, swelling, tightness, and that grinding bone-on-bone sensation that seems to get worse every year. SynoCell works by stopping that destruction at the source. Once those joint termites are neutralized, your body can finally shift out of breakdown mode and back into repair mode. When that happens, blood flow improves, stiffness fades, and the cartilage-building cells in your joints can start producing the cushioning material your fingers have been missing. That's when people notice the grip returning, their hands feel looser, stronger, and more flexible again. So yes, SynoCell goes far beyond dulling pain. It helps restore the natural motion, dexterity, and strengthen your hands and fingers by addressing the true root cause of their decline. This next question comes from Patricia in San Diego, California, who asks, are there any side effects? Is SynoCell safe to take long-term? The short answer is yes. SynoCell is absolutely safe. It's made from natural, research-backed ingredients that have been studied for decades and used by doctors and scientists all over the world. Each ingredient was carefully chosen not just for how well it works, but also for how well the body tolerates it. There are no stimulants, no synthetic chemicals, and no harsh drugs of any kind. And unlike prescription painkillers or NSAIDs, SynoCell doesn't damage your stomach, kidneys, or liver. It is not addictive, and it doesn't just numb pain while quietly accelerating cartilage loss, something that sadly happens with many conventional medications. Instead, SynoCell works with your body, calming inflammation naturally so your joints, nerves, and tissues can begin to heal the way nature intended. What's even more exciting is that several of SynoCell's ingredients, including Quercetin, Boswellia, have been shown in clinical research to support healthy aging at the cellular level. For example, a 2022 study in the Journal of Molecular Medicine found that Quercetin can help protect and rejuvenate aging cartilage cells, while Boswellia has been studied for its ability to reduce oxidative stress and preserve brain and heart function. This next question comes from Laura in Columbus, Ohio, who writes, I understand that SynoCell can help with joint, neck, and back pain, but I suffer from frequent debilitating headaches. Can SynoCell help with those too? That's a great question, Laura, and I'm really glad you brought it up because most people don't realize how deeply connected headaches are to inflammation in the body. You see, not all headaches start in the head. Many of them begin in the neck, the shoulders, or upper spine, areas where inflammation, muscle tightness, and nerve irritation can restrict blood flow and trigger that pounding or throbbing pain. SynoCell helps by calming the chronic, low-grade inflammation that often fuels these headaches. When inflammation fades, muscles can finally relax, blood can flow freely to the brain again, and those tense, pressure-filled sensations begin to ease. What's remarkable is that many people notice their headaches becoming less frequent and less intense after they start taking SynoCell. Not because it's masking pain, but because it's addressing the real root cause, inflammation. And there's another important link here. Studies now show that the same kind of systemic inflammation that wears down your joints can also affect the blood vessels and tissues in your brain. That's one of the reasons chronic inflammation has been tied to both migraines and memory decline over time. So while SynoCell was originally formulated for joint and musculoskeletal pain, its whole body approach to reducing inflammation often brings a welcome side benefit: clearer head, fewer headaches, and a calmer, more energized body overall. This next question comes from Tom in Austin, Texas, who asks, how is SynoCell better than painkillers or other pain solutions I've already tried? That's an excellent question, Tom, and it really gets to the heart of what makes SynoCell so different. Most people don't realize this, but traditional painkillers don't heal anything. They simply block the pain signals for a few hours, while the real problem, the inflammation that's damaging your joints and tissues, keeps getting worse underneath. It's like putting a piece of tape over your car's check engine light instead of fixing the engine. Sure, you don't see the warning anymore, but the damage is still happening. In fact, studies show that long-term use of NSAIDs and prescription painkillers can actually accelerate cartilage loss and joint degeneration, while putting strain on your liver, your kidneys, and heart. That's why so many people find themselves stuck in a cycle of temporary relief, followed by even more pain later on. SynoCell breaks that cycle by going after the root cause, the chronic, low-grade inflammation that's been silently chewing away at your joints for years. Once that inflammation is neutralized, your body can finally start repairing itself naturally. Instead of masking pain, SynoCell helps your body rebuild, restoring flexibility, strength, and mobility at the cellular level. And because it's made from natural, clinically studied ingredients, you get all of these benefits without the addiction risk or side effects of drugs. The bottom line is this: painkillers trick your body into silence. SynoCell teaches it to heal. That's why thousands of people who once relied on pills or injections are now moving freely again, and why I always tell new users, try it for yourself. With our 90-day pain-free pledge, you've got nothing to lose and everything to regain. This next question comes from Sharon in Nashville, Tennessee, who writes, how fast will I see results with SynoCell? The good news is, many people start feeling a difference surprisingly quickly. Often right away, as the inflammation begins to calm, they often notice less stiffness in the morning, easier movement, and a smoother, lighter feeling in their joints. That's your body's first signal that the cytokine storm, the invisible inflammation behind so much of your pain, is finally quieting down. But here's where the real magic happens. Once that inflammation is neutralized, your body can shift into repair mode. That's when your cartilage cells start producing new cushioning material, your joints begin to re-lubricate, and your flexibility returns. That process takes a little longer, usually between 4 to 8 weeks of consistent use, because real healing happens from the inside out. Think of it like tending a garden. The relief you feel early on is the sprout, and the lasting results come as the roots take hold. The key is consistency. Taking SynoCell daily allows its ingredients to build up in your system, reinforcing your body's natural healing rhythm day after day. So while some relief can be felt right away, the full transformation, stronger joints, smoother movement, and lasting comfort continues to improve the longer you take it. This last question comes from George in Portland, Oregon, who asks, is SynoCell available anywhere else for a lower price? SynoCell is only available through this official website. We don't sell it in stores, on Amazon, or through any third-party retailer, and there's a very good reason for that. When you're dealing with a precision formula that depends on delicate, bioactive ingredients, things like plant sterols, unsaponifiables, and natural compounds that have to stay perfectly stable, quality control is everything. Selling directly through this website allows us to oversee every single step, from sourcing and purity testing, to manufacturing, to packaging, and finally to shipping straight to your door. It ensures that every bottle you receive is 100% authentic, fresh, and effective. If SynoCell were sold through big box retailers, the markups would double the price, and we'd lose the ability to guarantee that what you're getting hasn't been sitting on a shelf for months, exposed to heat or light that could degrade the ingredients. We've even seen imitators try to sell look-alike products online, but they're not made with our patented microencapsulation process or tested for potency and purity. So if you want the real thing, the same doctor-formulated SynoCell that's helped thousands of people reclaim their mobility and freedom, this website is the only place to get it. Plus, ordering directly gives you access to our special bundle discounts, free shipping offers, and of course, the 90-day pain-free pledge guarantee that protects your entire order. So go ahead and select your package below, and rest easy knowing you're getting the genuine formula straight from the source. Those are the most common questions I get about SynoCell, and I hope I've answered everything for you. My greatest mission in life is to help people live healthy, pain-free lives. And having watched my dad struggle with pain his entire adult life, I know that eventually you might start thinking, maybe I'm just meant to live with pain for the rest of my life. Because the longer you live with your pain, the less and less you'll feel like a normal person, and the more you might feel like a burden. A person who needs help with simple tasks like opening a jar, walking upstairs, carrying grocery bags, or even putting on a shirt. It's important you make your choice now, because the longer you wait, the more your golf clubs, tennis shoes, and passport will collect dust and serve as a sad reminder of how much you're missing out on. If you're still wondering if it's right for you, I've made it easy for anyone to secure a supply of SynoCell without taking any risk at all. You can simply claim your package, try it out, and see how it makes you feel. It's a lot easier to just try it, rather than wondering what if for the rest of your life. For just $59, it's rare to find something that can genuinely transform your life. Sure, $59 might cover a single meal at a decent restaurant, but you'll leave the same person who came in. However, SynoCell might actually change your life. It's not just about joint pain relief. It's about ushering in a wave of health improvements that ripple through every aspect of your being, creating a domino effect of positive transformations. Imagine rejuvenating your joints and increasing your mobility so you can do the things you love to do again. This mission has driven me for years, to empower people to live healthier, more vibrant lives and to be present for their family. But that mission is a big one. And since you're still watching, that means you're still interested and you know SynoCell will work for you. And to help you make the right decision, sometimes it's easier to think about the other people in our lives than just ourselves. Consider the true impact of your decision to say yes to SynoCell today. It could be for your partner, adding years of happiness to your relationship. It might be for your children, who rely on your strength and vitality. You don't want to be a source of pity or burden for others, wishing they could see you in a place of power and dignity. Perhaps it's for your grandchildren or future generations who adore you and wish you could actively participate in their lives, or for someone you've yet to meet who might be the blessing in your life. Whatever your motivation, you can proceed with confidence and excitement as you click the button below, securing your one-time discount on SynoCell. This decision in your hands right now could mean the difference between a life of pain and a life of active, joyful participation. Take control of your life and take control of your future. Claim your supply of SynoCell right now by choosing one of the money-saving packages below, fully protected by our pain-free pledge guarantee. Thanks for watching, and God bless.